With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Nate Double G. He gets the job done. He doesn't fight Khamzat Chimaev. No, he fights El Kukui, Tony Ferguson on the night. Well, got the homie Originally here to break it down with me. Gonna do that right now. Roll that intro. Alright guys, welcome back to Championship Rounds. The fights are over. Everything is in the books. Got the homie B with me. Guys, like, comment, share, subscribe in no particular order. B, say what's up to the people.
What's up? It was a good card.
I concur, sir. I concur. Just off the barrel, what was your favorite fight tonight?
I really liked the Nate Diaz Tony Ferguson fight. It really delivered on all levels, and I'm sure we'll get into it. But yeah, it was a good fight, and I really liked it.
Nate Diaz and Tony Ferguson. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Guys, we're only here to cover the two fights at the top of the marquee. We might moonlight a little bit below that before we get out of here. But without further ado, we're going to keep it short and sweet. Co-main event gets changed to Khamzat Chimaev versus Trailblazer Kevin Holland. Now, Kevin Holland historically gets taken down and held there by every damn body, causing this guy to move a whole weight class because of it. And you would think the guys in the lower weight class would have more difficulty holding him down. Some have, but not the caliber of a Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat gets in there, makes quick work of Kevin Holland, but misses weight, and is the reason why this whole weekend has been jostled about how it's been. What's your biggest takeaway from this win for Khamzat? And what do you think is next for him, considering the fact Dana apparently said he wants him to compete at 180 pounds, which would mean there's no title shot in his immediate future?
Well, you got to really talk about what happened, with the scuffle with apparently Kevin Holland originally, and then with the Nate Diaz crew. It really messed up for the first time. They canceled the presser, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a history making thing. But really, like I said, the fight didn't deliver really anything other than what we already knew, is that this guy is on a different planet. It's just crazy, man. Like, Holland didn't land one punch. He didn't land anything. If you look at the stat card, it's all goose eggs.
I mean, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's just gotta really kill your confidence, man. Like, when you don't do anything, and then you get finished.
Right. I mean, you didn't get to provide any type of offense, but isn't that familiar to the Khamzat Chimaev fights we're used to? The first 3 fights in his career in the UFC, for that matter, the guy got hit once. I mean, it's the fight. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. This fight was, when it got switched to Kevin Holland, everybody's like, oh, we like Kevin Holland. I like Kevin Holland. But let's not act like this wasn't a tailor-made fight for Khamzat Chimaev. People were out there in the media saying, hey, this is actually a better fight. This is actually a better fight. And it probably was. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? But I think Kevin Holland is stronger just more physically stronger than that of Nate Diaz. And I think Nate would have gotten taken down all the same. Jiu-jitsu on the ground, I know that's another story, but as far as being able to fend off the takedowns, I feel like Kevin Holland did as much as he possibly could, but at the end of the day, he could not, escape the choke and was forced to tap. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play what Khamzat said after the fight right now, because Joe Rogan was really, he acted like he was I don't know who asked the questions that the fans want to know. Like, he was asking the hard hitting questions, and he wasn't turning away until he got a legit response that he was satisfied with. I'll let you be the judge. Here's Khamzat after the fight.
I'm here with the winner, Khamzat Chimaev. Hey, so what now? Say something. So what now? I'm fucking all these boys. This is championship, motherfuckers. fights against a very dangerous guy in Kevin Holland, but you just ran right through it.
I'm the most dangerous guy here. I got a cover for everyone. I kill everybody. All the weapons.
You came into this fight far overweight. What was that all about?
I don't care about that shit, bro. I kill that guy. Gotta go for everybody. I can't go down here. Let's come down. Give it to both guys for last year. I fight the both of them.
I know you don't care about that now, but if you want to compete for the welterweight title, it's important that they know that you can make 170 pounds.
Yes.
So why?
Of course I'm supposed to make that weight as well. But doctor stopped me. Nobody can stop me. If I die, I die in the cage. I didn't come here to make my weight. I died in my bed. I can't die in the cage. I died in the cage. I never leave that cage. Now it's my home. I can take everything from you guys.
I believe that, Hamza. But imagine if this was a fight for the title.
Joe won't let it go, bro. Joe wouldn't let it go. Okay, so I mean that gives you the gist of what was said, but Joe wouldn't let it go. He wasn't getting the what answer did you want the guy to? I mean, what did you want Khamzat to say, Joe? Like, he missed weight. What? Okay, Joe, I promise. I missed weight. I'm sorry. I promise I'll never do it again. Is that what he wanted to hear? I mean, what's your takeaway from Khamzat's message after the fight, B?
He's trying to get him. I mean, he's trying to set him up to where he can just say, "Yeah, I fucked up." The doctors, shut it down, because that was the official excuse.
Right. I kind of,
he could have apologized and said, "That's my bad. It won't happen again." Blah blah blah. But he's living up to heel. And when he came out, I mean, he got the biggest boo. I mean, they booed him out of the building, and I like that the UFC kind of let the crowd just boo him.
Right.
Before hitting his entrance. It was very reminiscent of old school wrestling, and I loved it. So I guess when it comes to him, it's like, what's next? I mean, you got to give him a title shot eventually, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, he could have got a title shot after beating Durinho Burns. I mean, but now he's fighting Nate Diaz, who is a career lightweight 155er, whom, has never been ranked at 170 pounds ever. So, I mean, like, this was just a throwaway fight that they were trying to bolster Khamzat's popularity, and it ended up backfiring. And I don't know. Yeah, he did get a humongous heel pop as far as the boos are concerned, but how much of that is him being, considered a heel versus Nate Diaz being considered an absolute MMA god coming out there? He had the crowd in the palm of his hands. They were going wild for this guy. Like, it was a huge pop, and I'm interested to see what the pay-per-view numbers are going to look like after this is all said and done, with the fight change. I mean, cuz at the end of the day, they're like, okay, well, Nate Diaz versus Khamzat sells. Now you change that. Are people still buying? So that's my interest is on that. So since we're talking about the main event now, let's go ahead and move on to it. Nate Diaz goes in there and has a very, very odd fight with Tony El Kukui Ferguson. It was one of the most awkward fights I've ever watched, and I've been watching since day one, damn near. Like, I've been watching for a long time. This is this is more awkward than Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz. This is more awkward than Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis in a way better way. But with that being said, Nate Diaz gets it done. He bloodies El Kukui by checking the leg kicks. El Kukui's right foot was it the left foot? One of his feet were just covered in blood leaking from his leg. But Tony he kept throwing him. And also, Tony got his face busted up. Nate Diaz relatively left this fight clean. Everybody wants to talk about the scar tissue. Looked like Tony had the scar tissue issue tonight. He was looking pretty busted and battered. Mutual respect between the two. I like seeing it tonight. But ultimately, Nate Diaz ends his last fight on his contract in a really, really good fashion. His brother Nick Diaz there with him, looking just as chunky as he did in his last fight. But what do you take away from this, B? What do you think's next for Nate?
Well, it was a great. First, I want to say it was a great fight for Nate Diaz. You said it was awkward. I don't know. I thought Nate Diaz was. You gotta think these guys didn't train. They weren't even scheduled to fight each other. So it was going to be a little awkward with that. But if you look at Tony Ferguson's face, I know his chin was messed up. His face was fucked up too, man.
Busted up.
He had heavy swelling under both eyes. I mean, he was pieced up, man.
He was getting his eyes boxed closed, bro. Go ahead.
Facts. And he got finished. And how fitting is it for him to get finished? Now, there was some speculation. It looked a little awkward how that finish started or happened, I guess. There's some chatter online. Of course, people are always going to talk nonsense about maybe it was fixed. Who knows? I don't know.
What?
I'm not saying that.
What?
I'm not saying that.
Are you serious? Who are these weirdos? Yeah, Nate.
Right?
Yeah, Nate. Let's get together, Nate. Let me go in there and absolutely destroy your lead leg. Bust that shit all the way the fuck up. And to the point where I'm bleeding profusely from my leg. Oh, wait, there's more. I'm going to let you box my fucking face in, and then I'm just going to dive into a choke and let you beat me. That's the fight. Let's get it done. No, this was not a work. This was not a work.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
but in the third, going down to the third round, is that a corner was like, shoot the takedown.
Facts.
Well, he shot the takedown. He was having real success with the leg kicks, though, to Nate Diaz.
Busting him up, bro.
So that was bad corner advice.
It was.
Once again, El Kukui.
It was.
Whoever.
It was, but he was getting pieced up on the feet there after a while. He was. And it's so weird because it didn't seem like Nate was like doing like any, like connecting with any destructive force, but he was just touching him up, just beating him. And it's just like, Tony, who's already like, he used to be the guy who'd leave you bloody and battered, you know what I mean? Now he's the guy leaving bloody and battered. He's old. And, I mean, he's 38, Nate's 37. I mean, this was a perfect fight for both of them, in my opinion. But yeah, it's time for Tony to retire, man. I mean, it's really time for Tony to retire. I mean, what did he have to offer in this fight outside of the leg kicks?
5 losses in a row. It's time to call it a day.
That's crazy. Five losses in a row and finished by all but the champion. The champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. That's crazy.
And he's got brain damage because he was talking about he's doing a season of Ultimate Fighter with Khabib, and Khabib's on board, and blah blah blah. This guy is. And then Dana White literally shot that down with the fastest.
Shot it down with a fucking anti-aircraft gun.
Right. What they're using in Ukraine and shit. So
I'm not gonna go there. What I am gonna do before we get out of here, obviously, is I'm gonna cut to one Nathan Diaz post-fight. He had some interesting things to say. We're gonna break that down before we get out of here. Without further ado, here's Nate Diaz.
I'm here with the winner, Nate Diaz. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for a legend? Nate, it was a wild fight between two real veterans. What was it like coming into this fight today after all the chaos of this week, particularly yesterday?
Full-blown wrestling fight camp. I didn't do no boxing, so we made that happen.
What did you think? Like, what was going through your mind when Khamzat came in so overweight and then the negotiations to take this fight?
I was like, this is such a bitch-ass rookie. I ain't even worried about no bitch-ass rookie.
Was there any concern whatsoever about switching opponents?
No, I'm just here to get my job done. I had one fight left. I told him I told him after not letting me have fights forever, I was like, give me anybody you got. And at least I got a worthy OG representative of mixed martial arts to do it on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nate, this was the last fight on your contract. What happens now? You're obviously loved by everyone, and we would love to have you stay around. But what's in your mind?
All I know is there's been a love-hate relationship with me and the UFC the whole time I've been in this organization. But at the end of the day, I love the UFC.
Oh my goodness.
Shout out to Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, and Hunter Campbell for giving the opportunities and the platform the whole time for everybody and for myself. I feel like I'm the most, right now, I feel like I've had the longest career in the UFC, and I've had the most successful one at everybody. I outdid everybody on pay, I outdid everybody on surviving, and I want to get out of the UFC for a minute and show all these UFC fighters how to take over and own up another sport how you're supposed to do it. Because Conor McGregor didn't know how to do it, and none of these other fighters know how to do it. So I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna take over another profession and become the best at that. Show everybody I'm the best at that, and then I'm gonna be right the fuck back here to get a motherfucking UFC title, the best title in the world.
I'll cut it right there. A lot to unpack there, Brandon. What's your biggest takeaway, and what do you think is the more hard-hitting message that Nate Diaz delivered from that post-fight interview, if you will?
Well, I think for the first time I could understand everything he was saying. I don't know what the hell that's about. He spoke so clearly, and it was like, wow, who is this guy? Put up on a front? Like, what the fuck? But no, I think it's going to be good for him to get out of the UFC. I think the most craziest thing was him saying he's going to come back and fight for a belt. But I don't know if you heard me during his
crazy
comments. I was like, oh my God, Tony Ferguson is at the presser and he took his glasses off. First of all, the goofball came on stage with a fucking baseball again.
In case they run.
I don't know what the hell's that about.
In case they run, bro.
Well, look, he took his glasses off. Man, my boy is beat up.
Man, they said put your glasses back on.
Yeah, he put them on quick.
Oh, my God.
His eyes are damn near closed. But, yeah, man, Nate Diaz, I think he's going to bounce out, probably put on a boxing event. I know he's promoting something. It's called Fight or something like that. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm interested, of course. So we'll see what it is.
Well, I just want to think about this. Nate Diaz obviously threw shade at Tyron Woodley, threw shade at Ben Askren, threw shade at Conor McGregor, but didn't throw shade at Anderson Silva, who's fighting Jake Paul next, presumably. Which I think Anderson Silva's going to knock Jake Paul out, but that's another story for another show. With that being said, he says he's going to show everybody else how to take over. Whom is he going to fight? Jake Paul? Is he assuming Jake Paul is going to get past Anderson Silva? I don't know. But that's just interesting. What sport is he talking about? He went on to talk about jiu-jitsu. He even said any other organization. At the end of the day, I think the UFC is going to pay the man, and it wouldn't be wild if Nate Diaz ended up in a title fight. People say, oh, a title fight after beating Tony Ferguson? It's the UFC, people. Conor McGregor got a title fight after beating Dennis Siver. Anderson Silva got a title fight after beating Chris Lieben. I can go on with situations like this, but I don't need to. I've already named two. But my question to you, Brandon, is, does the UFC bring Nate Diaz back? And if and when they do, is the only fight to make the trilogy fight with Conor motherfucking McGregor?
Yeah, he had to bring up Conor because, that's where he gets his rub from. And by the way, Conor's done very successful. He made a lot of money off that proper number 12. So It is what it is. Conor never did know fighting promotion. If he did, it'd probably be successful too. But
just because his name was.
With that being said, Blah, blah, blah,
Just because his name was behind it, that's what I
Connor's,
said. Yeah, it'd be successful if he put his
yeah,
name behind
but
it. Yeah.
okay, but yeah, I mean Nate Diaz, it's the same thing. I hope he succeeds. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about him coming back fighting for no title. I mean, because it's like Leon Edwards if he's still champ? Does he? You know what I mean? Like 155? Does he get on to 155?
I mean, I feel like there's a line. I feel like there's a line at 170. I feel like there's a line that can be cut at 155. Who knows? This is UFC, and I wouldn't be surprised if anything happened. To be honest with you on that. But what's your thoughts on the whole boxing side of it? Like, what do you think is going to be there for him on in the boxing aspect of things?
He's probably hoping that Jake Paul wins so that he can have that fight and make a boatload of money and beat him.
Well, you know what? I think that the UFC pays him and we don't even ever see that fight. I think the UFC backs up the Brinks truck and re-signs Nate to preserve that Conor McGregor mega fight. Because really, who does Conor McGregor fight otherwise upon his return? Who would make sense?
It's Nate Diaz.
100%, bro. 100%. That's the fight, guys. And that's the fight game. We'll see what's next for Nate Diaz. We'll see what's next for Khamzat Chimaev. The two stars tonight. Irene Aldana getting the knockout with the TKO with the upkick liver shot. Craziness. Chris Barnett missing the heavyweight mark. Was getting his ass beat and his eye closed. Ends up sprawling out of a takedown attempt. A trip, rather. And circling around, you know what I mean, to secure the takedown, 2 points, and then obviously pounding his opponent out, busting up my parlay. What other highlights did we have tonight, buddy, before we get out of here?
That was the one I wanted to talk about just because it was such a crazy fight. But I can't really, like I said, I had stream issues all night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had big storms in the area. It was knocking out the signal. You know, sorry, Dana White. I couldn't watch your product. But Johnny Walker got the submission. I don't know.
Oh, Johnny Walker.
Touch on that.
Iwan Kutelaba. Iwan Kutelaba is just a wild man. He fights with, you know what I mean? They say like the young lion fights with, hunts with no patience. You know what I mean? He just goes after it with no patience for that kill shot. But the old lion hunts with patience, like Leon Edwards, who was down and out in the fight against Kamaru Usman, but still had the presence of mind to set up a kill shot. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Brandon, thanks for joining me tonight. Guys, great night of fights in my opinion. I was entertained by the lion's share of them. Thanks for watching. You know the B-roll, like, share, comment, subscribe. And until next time, until the next fight, until the next games, NFL Sunday is tomorrow, today, if this is probably when you're going to see this. Anyways, until next time, stay frosty.